What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. Today we're going to do a review on the NASDAQ Level 2 trading strategies with Mike McMahon. I put a lot of work and time into this review. I'm going to try to run through it as fast as possible. It's filled with a lot of great knowledge I think you all will enjoy. Help me out by smashing that like button and hitting that subscribe button. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm. I know you are all there. I get over 80,000 views on my channel per week, and 81% of you are from non-subscribers. I love what I do, and I want you all to come along with me on my journey. So please subscribe and like, and let's jump into the video. I watched this NASDAQ Level 2 Trading Strategies DVD last night and took all kinds of notes while watching this DVD and found myself enjoying this DVD. It has a total runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. It was recorded and released in 2001, 19 years ago from today. It's a taped conference with Mike McMahon going over a slideshow presentation about the Level 2, how the Level 2 works, and the makings of Level 2. Here is a picture of the presenter, Mike McMahon. Very knowledgeable guy, was always shooting off fun facts about the stock market and finance throughout the video. Before the presentation even starts on this DVD, you get a bunch of ads from traderslibrary.com. This is the website, traderslibrary.com. It is a bit outdated, but there are a bunch of books and DVDs related to the stock market, finance, trading, all over in this website. I don't know if I would recommend buying anything from this website. What I did was, once I found something that I liked on this website, I went over to eBay, looked it up, and bought it from eBay. But overall, this is a great website that's filled with all kinds of great stuff if you're looking to learn more about a specific area in finance. I will leave a link to this website down in the video description down below. Now let's jump into the notes that I took while watching this DVD. Level 2 is easy to learn, but it takes time to see how it actually works and the games that are played. Mike McMahon talks about retail brokers and direct access and the difference between the two. Throughout this DVD, he talks a lot about direct market access. And in the early 2000s, this was all brand new. Electronic trading was really taking off and exploding. And a lot of people had a hard time adapting from placing orders through their phone to placing orders online. The difference between retail brokers and direct access. You may ask yourself, what is a retail broker? A retail broker are your brokers that you hear all the time and you see commercials for all the time. E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Ally Investing, just to name a few. And then you may ask yourself, well, what is direct market access? Let me show you an example between retail brokers and direct market access that Mike McMahon talks about and presents in this DVD. Here I have an example that I made. With your retail broker, it's you. When you place a trade, you send it to your broker, which is E-Trade for an example, and then your broker sends it to the exchange. With direct access, it's just you sending an order directly to the exchange. A one-way ticket. With direct access, you get rid of the middleman, which is the broker. He also mentions with retail brokers, some brokers, not all brokers, will actually trade against you. When you send a trade in, and when your broker receives it, they'll take a position against you. Meanwhile, with direct access, you have yourself, you place a trade and send it in, it goes directly to the exchange, and the market makers place your trade. Next, we jump into ECN, Electronic Communications Network. ECN, in other words, are market makers who make the market. These are who we buy shares from or sell shares to when placing trades. We have banks, traders, and brokers send all orders to the ECN market makers, which provides liquidity, fills our orders. ECNs are incredibly fast. Its transparency into the market allows you to advertise and allows you to negotiate. Back when this DVD was made, most retail brokers didn't offer level 2. They only had level 1. Goes to show you how far we've come along. And it's also crazy with the commissions. Back then, they would charge hundreds of dollars just to place a trade. Now, there are no commissions. Fun fact, in the early 2000s, the NASDAQ was the only exchange that had online level 2. There was only 9 ECNs. The New York Stock Exchange started building their own ECN in 1999. Another fun fact, I am sure you have all heard of the ECN, ARCA, ARCA. When this DVD was made, ARCA was the top ECN and still is today. Merrill Lynch and Goldman Sachs both own 12.5% of ARCA at the time of this DVD, which was 18 years ago. It may be more today. For every dollar that flows through ARCA, that's 12.5% into Merrill Lynch and Goldman Sachs pockets. There are other traders on the ECNs, and then there are other players, the market makers, firms that make a market on bid and ask at all times. Major players you should know: Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, just to name a few. You need to know the big players in the stocks that you like to trade. The major players like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Merrill Lynch, they will have ECN codes, and Goldman Sachs is GSCO, Morgan Stanley, MSCO, JP Morgan, JPMS, Merrill Lynch, MLCO. If you're watching a stock on the level 2 and you're trying to buy and you see GSCO on the ask and they just will not go away, you got to think of how big these players are and how much money these guys have. I would not want to be trying to buy a stock when Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley constantly on top of the ask with big size just unloading. You want to know who the big players are. A very cool website talks about in this DVD is the NASDAQtrader.com. If you want to find out who the big players are in a specific stock or see what players, the big banks, what stocks they like to play, come to this website, the NASDAQtrader.com. I will leave a link to it in the description of this video. Over here on the right side, click on this, go down to market participants, click on that, and then if you're interested in a stock, for an example, Apple, for an example, type in the ticker symbol, click go, and it will give you a list of all the big players that play this stock. For an example, we typed in Apple, their ECN ID is MPLW, and their name is Maplewood Investment Advisors. For another example, we'll look up Facebook. Here's a big list of all the major players that trade Facebook. They have the market participants ID right here, their participant type, are they a NASDAQ member, the name of their company, where they're located, a phone number, and their clearing number. And they also, at the top here, have definitions for what the codes are when looking up who the big players are. A very cool and useful website. Again, I will leave a link for it in the description of this video. I recommend you check it out. Also, if you wanted to see what a specific institution is buying or selling with this website, you can do that as well. You may ask yourself, what's an institution? A financial institution, such as a bank, uses investors, depositors, or its own funds to invest in financial assets such as equities, bonds, to make a profit. Examples of institutions are banks, building societies, broking firms, corporations, local authorities, fund management, and insurance companies. You want to keep a close eye on these big kingpins because if you see them on the level 2, they are not just buying or selling 1,000 shares. They have money. They are buying and selling hundreds of thousands of shares, and you don't want to be on the other side of that trade. Big banks, the players, important to know what they do. Example, Merrill Lynch does a lot of retirement plans, 401ks. JP Morgan does a lot of business with institutions and firms. How do these big players play? Do they buy and sell in bulk? Do they buy and sell in lots? Do they have a big team of analysis that will upgrade or downgrade a stock? There are over 500, probably way more now, 15 years later from when this DVD was made, of market makers. You don't have to know every single one specifically, but if you have a couple of stocks that are your favorite and you like to trade, you better know who those big players are. Remember, this is a business. Trust no one. Do your own research and look out for yourself. Wolves love to eat sheeps. Back when this DVD was made, the level 2 did not have decimals. They went by fractions. 1/4, a half, 3/8, 11/16. And you could see that right here on the bid side, 5/16. On the ask, 42 3/8. I'm so thankful that they got rid of the fractions and actually put in decimals, because when he would bring up level 2s in this DVD and was really quickly running down what was happening, the fractions was throwing me off big time because I'm so used to seeing decimals on the level 2. People can play games on the level 2 by spoofing orders, hiding size to scare the other side, or to be a ninja. The tape does not lie. When orders go through it, it will print on the tape. This is where time comes back into the picture. You have to get screen time in, watching level 2 and the tape to see the game people play while trading. Remember, green prints on the tape, someone bought on the ask. Red prints on the tape, someone sold at the bid. When I first started, it took me a moment to get used to that. With time, you will get used to it. White prints is a sale between the bid and the ask. Some platforms, like the one I use, Street Smart Edge by Charles Schwab, you can have a specific color to print on the tape if someone panics and sells lower than the inside bid. Mine is orange. If someone paid a premium and got filled higher to buy in, mine is sky blue. Always keep an eye open on the tape. For the big money players with big orders, they are not always right, but I want to see what the big money is doing. Towards the end of this DVD, he does a level 2 with the times and sales breakdown of the stock Cisco. Very well done job by Mike McMahon going through and telling us step by step, play by play, what's going on between the bid and the ask and the tape. He also teaches you and shows you to keep an eye on the market makers. On the bid side and on the ask side, what do they keep doing? What is their size? At the end of this DVD, he put up a picture that I took and I really liked. Reward is equal to risk or not. Learning to trade is the key. Reducing risk is the goal. Learn not to lose first. Then learn how to keep your wins. Only then is risk equal reward. Really focus big on the risk side of your trades and reward will follow. Towards the end of this DVD, the audio kept going in and out and it would freak me out a couple times with the volume and the audio going up really high and then going down really low. Again, this DVD came out in 2001. It does look dated, but overall, I enjoyed this DVD. And out of 5 stars, I give it a 3.2. Mike McMahon was a great presenter and very knowledgeable. I wouldn't say there was any trading strategies, but information you should keep your eyes open for to catch and observe. Mike McMahon did a great job at describing the advantage you have with direct access compared to a retail broker. I found it quite enjoyable. I would recommend it for other people that's interested in finance, trading in the stock market, and the NASDAQ level too. Thank you for following me through this whole entire review. If it was too long, I'm sorry. Leave comments down below. Tell me what you guys thought about this review and let me know, are there any DVDs from the Trader library that you've checked out and would recommend? There are a whole bunch of DVDs in this series. And after watching this one, I'm actually interested to see what the other ones have as well. That's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Later, everybody.
The most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?